How Sakinah spouse works. This video is for everyone in my marriage group chat so you understand exactly how it works, so there's no more questions. However, if after this video you're still unsure on a few things, of course you can message me directly and I will clarify any questions you may have. Okay, first of all, when you first joined the group chat, I sent you 3 different links. One was a link to join my WhatsApp group chat. The second link was the Google form that you needed to fill out. And the third link was the YouTube video that I told you to watch to understand how the process works. But I realized that wasn't the best, so I'm doing it again with the videographer this time to make things a lot better and a lot clearer. Now, the Google form that I sent you guys is extremely important that you fill that out correctly with the right number. Because even if you put 1 digit wrong, my admins cannot reach out to you for your CV to be sent out, or they can't match you with people behind the scenes. Okay, so again, Google form, please make sure you filled it out. That Google form is also put for you guys to go in order. Yeah, once you press submit on that Google form, it puts you on a waiting list. So when it's your turn for your CV to be sent out, then an admin gets in touch with you and then they send out the CV. Does that make sense? Because a lot of people always ask me, when does my CV get sent out? When does my CV get sent out? It's all done via the Google form, and the fairest way to do it is in order of those who filled out the Google form in order. Now, when it's your turn for your CV to be sent out and an admin gets in touch with you, they're going to ask you for your CV and 1 to 3 pictures for them to send out into the opposite genders group chat. Now, this is where it can get a little bit confusing sometimes, because people always say to the admins, I've already filled out a CV, I've already filled out a CV. We have a separate CV template that we will send you that you need to fill out. That only takes around 2-3 minutes to do. Once you have filled that out, please send that back to the admin and also save that CV template on your notes, because that CV template is what will be used to be sent to the admin if you're actually interested in any of the other CVs that come through. If you do not have the Sakinah spouse CV template yet, please message myself or one of the admins and they will send you through the Sakinah spouse CV template, which you then use to send out for any other interest that you may have on somebody else's CV. When an admin reaches out to you, you have 48 hours to respond, whether that's for your CV to be sent into the opposite genders group chat, or when an admin reaches out to match you behind the scenes, you have 48 hours to respond. If you don't respond within 48 hours, you'll be removed and blacklisted from the group. That is because we want people who are serious about marriage and those who do not take ages to respond. Because if you take ages to respond to us, that means you're going to take ages to respond to your match. We want people who take marriage seriously and communicate in a well manner. Okay, so that is the first base of Sakinah spouse. Now I'm going to explain the 3-stage structure that we have. Stage 1 is what we call a mutual match. So for example, Abdul gets his CV sent in by an admin into the female group chat. Abdul receives 10 likes from his CV and picture. Abdul would then sift through the CVs and pictures that are sent to him by the admin, and he is only allowed to choose 3, which he takes into stage 2 with him. Another point to note out for when CVs are being sent back and forth via the admin, for privacy reasons, we never share nobody's names. People are referred to as code number. So like code 30, code 50, code 60. And what that does is it ensures people's safety, because there's a few weirdos out there that will find out your social media just via your name. So that's why we keep people's names out of it and just refer to them as code number. Another thing to note, please, my admins are human beings and they're doing this on a voluntary basis, so don't spam them with messages. They receive a lot of messages when they put CVs out. So please give them time and they will get back to you when they can, right? So if you put an interest out for a CV and then the admin will message you back asking for some CV and pictures from yourself. Once you send the CV and pictures, that's your job done. You don't need to do anything else. If you hear back from the admin, it means your CV has been successful. If you do not hear anything back from the admin, unfortunately your CV hasn't been successful this time and you can try inshallah with somebody else when another CV comes in. My admin cannot go back to every single person who messaged with their CV and pictures and let them know that they have been unsuccessful. So you only hear back from the admin once your CV has been liked by the other person and there is a mutual match. I hope that makes sense. Stage 2, I call this the deal breaker question stage. All right, this is where you ask the important questions. Asking the right questions can save you from a lifetime of heartbreak. So this isn't where you ask, what's your favorite cuisine? What do you like doing on a Sunday? What are your hobbies and interests? You can ask all this stuff afterwards, okay? First, you need to find out if you are compatible with each other. So the questions you should be asking are along the lines of, what's your intake on mortgage and riba? How many kids would you like in the future? Are we going to be staying with the in-laws or would be moving out straight away? So important questions to ensure compatibility first. Now that you've completed stage 2, you move on to stage 3. Now, it's important to know you can only go to stage 3 with 2 people, okay? I like to call stage 3 the I am not a catfish stage, okay? This is a 15-minute video call done via Zoom with an admin in between. Okay, now what this does is you get to see the person for the first time, okay, over the video call, and you get to ask any more questions that you may have to see if you have that compatibility and to see if the spark is there. Okay, it's also very important to see what that person looks like, because I've heard of so many crazy stories. You know, I've had sisters tell me before where they met the brother off an app and he had hair in his pictures, and when they met him in real life he was bald because he was using pictures from 5-6 years ago. Same with the brothers. I've heard of stories where they've told me they met the sister and she looks nothing like her pictures because her pictures were so filtered. So what this stage 3 does is it takes all of that away and you can see what that person looks like and have a 15-minute chat with them. Now, after that stage 3 call is when you decide if you would like to exchange numbers with this person or not. And again, it is done via an admin and an in-between person throughout all 3 stages. If you get to stage 3 and you decide to exchange numbers with someone, you are no longer allowed to show interest in any other profiles. We're not Muz, we're not Salam, where you can like 30-40 people and go out with them, all right? We like you to show effort to that person. You literally just went through 3 different stages with them. All right, an admin will stay in touch with you throughout the process and check in once every 2 weeks to see how things are going. Unfortunately, if things do fall off, just let myself or one of the admin team know, and then you'll be back into the CV process and you're allowed to start your search again. As we come towards the end of the video, I want to make one thing extremely clear. You have 48 hours to respond to my admins through all 3 stages. One of the biggest contributors to matches not going through after stage 3 has been completed, and the feedback that I've gotten back from the members was this person takes really long to respond. They take 12 hours, sometimes a whole day, 2 days, and we don't want that. All right, communication is very, very important, especially when it comes to marriage. So please respond in an appropriate manner to our admins and the person you match with. Now, we currently have 4 different fast track options. The first option is the CV booster, which is £20. And what this does is it allows your CV to be sent into the opposite genders group chat without you having to wait on the waiting list at all. The second option is called the Dip-On Booster, and this is where you get to work with myself personally, and this is £150. So what I do is I send out your CV personally and I deal with the request. Now, you pay £50 to start off with, and you only pay the remaining £100 once there is an actual match. When I send a message into the group chat, as the founder of the company, people tend to notice a little bit more without sounding too big-headed. The third option is called the social media option, and that is £100. And this option requires you to be a little bit gutsy, all right? This is where you do a video call with myself, you talk about yourself a little bit more, about your deal breakers, and then I upload that video onto my TikTok, which has over 100,000 followers, and my Instagram, which currently has 17,000 followers. What happens then is I will receive emails and DMs of people interested in your profile, which I will send over to you, and then you literally just say yes or no to them. I actually have an example of this on my TikTok page, which I'll show you here. You can go through that and actually see what it's like to do that option. The fourth and final option is the VIP matchmaking stage, and this is a one-time payment of £250, and this is where you get a personal admin assigned to you who sends you tailor-made CVs of your preference throughout a 12-week period, trying to find you a match.